Hi, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm the program manager for the UX Writer Conference, and that's coming up October 6th and 7th. It's online, through the internet, through the interwebs, and so you can get to it anywhere, everywhere. And we have a lot of great speakers. I get a chance to chat with them ahead of time, and so today I'm talking with John Caldwell. Hello, John. How are you today?
Hey, I'm great. I'm doing awesome and super excited to be here and talk with you about UX writing and some other things.
Well, I'm usually at my house near Seattle on Vashon Island. Today, I'm actually in the Chicago area. Where are you talking to us from?
I am talking to you from southern France, and I'm staying with some friends here. I actually live full-time in Spain, but we come up here every August to spend some time at our friend's house, which is in the Languedoc-Roussillon area of southern France, which is sort of a little bit west of Provence. It's a beautiful area. It's wine country, and we love it here, and we're having some spectacular weather as well, so we're very excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Obviously, travel's difficult, but hey, I'm banned from Europe right now, anyways. Living in the country I live in, but anyway, it's good to have you as part of the conference. And probably best place to start is for you to talk a little bit about your background and how you ended up where you're at today, doing the things you're doing.
Sure. So I started, in the sort of in the field and the craft of writing as a journalist many years ago. I got a degree in print journalism, and then was hired right out of college to be a staff writer at a news magazine in Los Angeles, which was a local regional magazine. And worked in journalism for, about close to 10 years, working for several different publications, doing a lot of freelance work for newspapers and magazines. And then my last sort of big job that people might know of or heard of was with the Advocate news magazine, which is the only real national gay and lesbian news magazine. It's been around for, quite a long time. And I was there for about 4 years, and when I left there, I was the senior news editor. So I was traveling around the country, writing big feature stories, but also I was the editor for their news section and for their website, and edited a lot of really great writers. It was a great time. So that was kind of the pinnacle of my journalism career. And from that, I moved to San Diego, and I was hired by a company called Intuit, which is the maker of TurboTax and QuickBooks. And I was hired to work on their TurboTax product. And I was there at Intuit for about close to 12 years. And during that time, I worked my way up from just being a UX writer, working on the TurboTax product experience and the website, to being in charge of basically all of their content strategy. So when I left Intuit about 2 years ago, I was the lead strategist on TurboTax, QuickBooks, Mint, and a number of other products that they had there. And my experience in journalism led very nicely into that. So at the time that I was hired by Intuit, they were really looking for people who weren't coming necessarily from software. They were looking for writers that came from industries such as journalism, such as news and feature, where they could leverage kind of a skill and a craft around speaking to a very broad audience, around making complex things very simple and easy to understand. And that's what journalists do. So that got me into that, that path of becoming a UX writer. And it was a very sort of seamless path. I had a lot to learn, but it worked out very well. And so when I left Intuit a couple of years ago, I sort of, struck out on my own and have been doing working some UX writing and content strategy contracts for some big companies, Airbnb, Capital One, a number of others. But also during that time, I wrote a book, and the book is about voice and tone strategy, and we're going to talk about that a bit today.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's good segue to chatting about that. Yeah, and so your book, Voice and Tone Strategy, Connecting with People Through Content, and that's published through XML Press. And so, yeah, we're happy that you'll be able to contribute some of your expertise from that book. And your session's going to be part of the quote-unquote book club section, where we're going to have several authors talking about excerpt sections from their book. Your session, what you're going to be presenting, create a voice and tone strategy that wins with customers. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect from that presentation.
Absolutely. So I'm going to cover in that talk, I will cover kind of three big things, that anybody who attends that talk will kind of take away from it. And the first one is why it's important to sort of build a meaningful relationship between you, your product, and that when I say you, that I mean your brand and your product voice or your marketing voice, the voice and the tone that you craft through, an entire end-to-end experience, sort of why it's important to use that to build a meaningful relationship with your users and your customers. And when I say meaningful relationship, I'm talking about, something that's really based on connections, that's something that really connects with them through voice, through content, which can be in a lot of forms, but it's usually written content. So I'll cover kind of why is that important? What do I mean by that? And then I'll move into covering some frameworks that anybody can use when they have the goal of connecting with people. And usually the goal, usually why they want to connect with people through content has a lot to do with building trust and gaining their loyalty and even more importantly, getting them to talk positively about our websites and our services and our products to their family and their friends and on social media. So I've developed some frameworks that are simple enough, that anybody can sort of use them to get started in the development of a strategy for using voice and tone to do that, to connect with people, to then gain their trust and their loyalty. And then I'll talk a little bit about at the end about the importance of then, once you have a strategy that you've developed, it's a lot of hard work, but the even harder work comes in getting the people in your organization to use it. And so I'll talk a little bit about that as well. You have to get buy-in from your key stakeholders. A lot of them are skeptical and can be very opinionated and also have their own goals and their own ideas about what they should be doing. And so you can't just throw a strategy at them and expect them to use it. So I'll cover that a little bit as well at the end.
Well, I think that's going to be a great topic to have as part of the event. I know in my the courses I teach at the University of Washington for writing students, voice and tone is always one of those that is maybe one of the more challenging ones to approach. So we'll look forward to having that as part of the program. Outside of your authorship, the other work that you're doing, is there anything that you're currently excited or passionate about?
Well, it's interesting you should ask me that, because right now the Tour de France is going, and I'm in France right now. And actually, in a couple of days, we're going to go up to a small town north of here and see the tour come through. And in recent years, I've been very excited and interested in professional cycling. I do a little bit of cycling myself, but certainly not anything that would approach, professional cycling. But it is something that I just find exciting, and it's sort of exploded. It's become a lot more global, and I think it's really fun and interesting sport. And there's a lot that I take away from it, by just learning more about it and watching it. It's, a lot of people don't realize that it's one of the most grueling sports there is. You have to be incredibly fit to be a pro cyclist, and to certainly to ride in one of the grand tours like the Tour of France. So I'm fascinated by the amount of work and effort and passion that goes into what these cyclists do. So it's been very interesting to me recently. So this is one thing outside of riding. It has nothing to do with riding really, other than something to be passionate about. But I think it's really fun and interesting.
Yeah, well, we share that. I try to watch each of the stages, enjoy that sport as well. So thanks for taking the time to chat with me today, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here online for the conference in October.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great.